There's a hidden struggle that many chosen ones face, yet few ever speak about it: lust. It's not just a fleeting temptation. It's a powerful force that infiltrates the mind, weakens the spirit, and creates distractions that pull you away from your destiny. You walk a path of purpose. You seek truth, wisdom, and self-mastery. And yet, this one battle seems impossible to escape. Why? Why do those who are set apart, those who see beyond the surface, struggle so intensely with something so consuming? This isn't about shame, it's about understanding. Lust is more than desire. It's a test, a distraction, and sometimes even an attack. But once you recognize why this struggle is so intense, you can begin to take control. In this video, we'll uncover the 5 key reasons chosen ones secretly wrestle with lust, and most importantly, how to break free. Stay with me. Reason 1: the burden of spiritual sensitivity. Being a chosen one means experiencing life with heightened awareness. Emotions, energies, and spiritual forces are not just things you observe, they are things you deeply feel. This sensitivity allows for profound understanding, but it also makes certain struggles more intense. Lust in particular becomes a significant battle because of how powerfully desires can be felt on both a physical and spiritual level. The experience of lust is not just about attraction. It is about the way energy moves through the body and mind. Those with spiritual sensitivity often feel emotions with greater depth, making temptations more overwhelming. The same ability that allows for deep connections with people and purpose can also open the door to powerful cravings. Unlike others who may easily suppress or ignore such feelings, a spiritually aware person is often more affected because their emotions run deeper. Lust, however, does not attack openly. It often disguises itself as a longing for connection, for intimacy, or for relief from loneliness. Moments of exhaustion, stress, or isolation create opportunities for these feelings to take hold. What starts as an innocent thought can quickly evolve into an internal battle that seems impossible to win. This struggle is not only about resisting physical temptation, but also about mastering the mind, where the real fight takes place. Another challenge of heightened sensitivity is the ability to visualize with great detail. The mind becomes a battleground where thoughts replay, growing stronger with time. A single image, memory, or fantasy can linger far longer than expected, making it difficult to move forward. Unlike those who may experience such thoughts fleetingly, a chosen one often finds them deeply embedded, requiring greater effort to overcome. Lust is not just a personal struggle, it is often a distraction from a greater purpose. When the mind is preoccupied with desire, focus is lost, and spiritual energy is drained. Many who are meant for great things find themselves weakened because their strength is being used in the wrong way. Instead of building, leading, and creating, they find themselves caught in cycles of temptation and regret. Overcoming this challenge requires discipline and intentional action. Protecting the mind from harmful influences, strengthening the connection with spirituality, and finding meaningful relationships can help reduce the power of lust. Redirecting energy into productive and fulfilling pursuits transforms desire into something beneficial. Instead of being consumed by cravings, that energy can fuel personal growth, creativity, and a deeper sense of purpose. Spiritual sensitivity is both a gift and a challenge. It enhances understanding and connection, but it also brings vulnerabilities. Recognizing the struggle with lust as part of a larger battle allows for a new perspective, one that does not see it as weakness, but as a test of strength. By mastering it, true freedom and spiritual clarity become possible. Reason 2: attacks from dark forces. Lust is not just a natural human temptation, it is also a spiritual weapon used against chosen ones. Those who are meant to walk a higher path often find themselves under intense attacks from dark forces, designed to weaken their willpower and distract them from their purpose. These attacks are not random. They are intentional strategies meant to disrupt spiritual growth, drain energy, and create feelings of guilt, shame, and self-doubt. The battle between good and evil is not just a metaphor, it is a reality. Chosen ones, who are meant to lead, inspire, and uplift others, pose a threat to darkness. They have the potential to bring change, to awaken people, and to break cycles of destruction. Because of this, forces that seek to maintain control over the world use lust as one of their most effective weapons. Lust is a powerful force, not just because of its physical effects, but because it impacts the mind and spirit. It creates internal conflict, weakens discipline, and makes it easier to manipulate individuals into actions they would normally resist. Dark forces do not operate in obvious ways. Their influence is subtle, working through thoughts, emotions, and external circumstances. They attack when one is most vulnerable, during moments of loneliness, exhaustion, or doubt. These forces know that if they can control the desires of a person, they can control their actions. This is why many great leaders, prophets, and individuals with strong spiritual connections have struggled with lust. It was never just a personal weakness, but a calculated attack meant to bring them down. One way these attacks manifest is through external temptations. People may be placed in the path of a chosen one, not as genuine connections, but as distractions. These individuals may seem attractive, understanding, and even aligned with one's purpose, but their true role is to divert focus and create emotional entanglements that lead to spiritual compromise. Another form of attack is through the mind. Thoughts and fantasies may appear out of nowhere, growing stronger over time. Nightmares, visions, or repeated desires may become overwhelming, making it feel impossible to resist. These thoughts are often designed to create guilt, making the chosen one feel unworthy of their mission. The more they struggle with these desires, the more they may question their spiritual strength, creating a cycle of failure and discouragement. Modern society also plays a role in amplifying these attacks. The media is filled with images, conversations, and entertainment that fuel lustful thoughts. The normalization of lust in culture makes it even harder for chosen ones to resist, as they are constantly surrounded by triggers that seek to wear down their defenses. The key to overcoming these attacks is awareness. Recognizing that these temptations are not just personal struggles, but intentional distractions allows for a shift in mindset. Instead of feeling shame, one must see these struggles as proof of their importance. The stronger the attacks, the greater the potential impact of the individual. Resisting these temptations is not just about self-control, it is about protecting spiritual power, maintaining focus, and staying on the path toward a higher purpose. Reason 3. Loneliness and isolation. One of the most difficult aspects of being a chosen one is the feeling of loneliness and isolation. Walking a unique path often means being misunderstood, disconnected from the majority, and struggling to find companionship with those who truly resonate with your journey. This loneliness, while a natural consequence of standing apart from the world, can create a deep void, one that lust often attempts to fill. Chosen ones are not like everyone else. Their way of thinking, their level of awareness, and their spiritual depth set them apart. While others are focused on material gain, social validation, or worldly pleasures, chosen ones seek a higher purpose, deeper wisdom, and spiritual fulfillment. This difference can make it difficult to relate to others, leading to a sense of detachment. Conversations may feel shallow, relationships may lack true connection, and friendships may come and go without lasting meaning. Over time, this isolation can become overwhelming, creating a strong desire for intimacy, affection, and companionship. Humans are designed for connection. From birth, we seek comfort, belonging, and emotional bonds. But when those needs are not met in a healthy way, the mind begins searching for substitutes. Lust often presents itself as a quick solution to this loneliness. It offers temporary relief, a false sense of intimacy, and a brief escape from the pain of isolation. Whether through unhealthy relationships, fantasies, or distractions, lust promises to fill the void. However, this relief is always short-lived, leaving behind even greater emptiness once the moment fades. Many chosen ones fall into this cycle. They seek connection but struggle to find people who truly understand them. In their frustration, they turn to lust as a coping mechanism, believing that it will bring comfort. But instead of fulfillment, it creates guilt, frustration, and a deeper sense of separation from their spiritual path. Over time, this cycle can erode self-discipline, weaken spiritual strength, and create an internal conflict between their higher purpose and their human desires. The solution to loneliness is not found in lust, but in purpose. When chosen ones fully immerse themselves in their calling, their focus shifts from what they lack to what they are meant to build. Instead of seeking external validation, they find fulfillment in their mission. Instead of craving superficial connections, they attract relationships that align with their path. The loneliness does not disappear overnight, but it transforms. It becomes a sacred space for growth, self-discovery, and preparation for deeper connections. Additionally, it is important for chosen ones to build meaningful relationships with like-minded individuals. Seeking out spiritual communities, mentors, and those who share similar values can help reduce isolation. While their journey may still be solitary in many ways, they do not have to walk it completely alone. Ultimately, overcoming loneliness requires a shift in perspective. Rather than seeing it as a burden, it should be viewed as a refining process, a time to strengthen character, deepen spiritual awareness, and prepare for the right connections that will come in divine timing. By embracing solitude with purpose, chosen ones can break free from the traps of lust and step into the fulfillment they were meant for. Reason 4: unresolved trauma and past experiences. Lust is often not just about physical desire, it is deeply rooted in the past. Many people who struggle with lust are not merely battling temptation. They are battling wounds that have never fully healed. Unresolved trauma, whether from childhood experiences, past relationships, or emotional pain, can manifest in various ways, and one of the most common ways it surfaces is through lust. For chosen ones, the impact of past trauma is even more intense. Because they are highly sensitive, spiritually aware, and deeply connected to their emotions, they tend to feel pain on a deeper level. When they experience rejection, betrayal, heartbreak, or abuse, the scars do not simply fade over time. Instead, they linger, buried in the subconscious, influencing their thoughts, behaviors, and desires. Many people turn to lust as a coping mechanism to escape their pain. Lust offers temporary pleasure, a brief distraction from emotional wounds, and an illusion of control over one's feelings. However, this relief is short-lived. Once the momentary pleasure fades, the pain remains, often stronger than before. This cycle creates an unhealthy dependency on lust as a way to numb or suppress deeper emotional issues. For example, someone who experienced rejection in childhood, whether from parents, peers, or romantic partners, may seek validation through lustful desires. They may subconsciously believe that sexual attention or indulgence in fantasies will fill the void left by past rejection. Similarly, those who have experienced abandonment may turn to lust as a way to feel temporarily wanted or needed, even if the connection is superficial. Another significant factor is trauma related to past relationships. If someone has been betrayed, manipulated, or emotionally wounded by a former partner, they may struggle with trust and emotional intimacy. Instead of seeking deep, meaningful connections, they may find themselves drawn to lustful experiences that provide momentary relief without the risk of true vulnerability. This creates a cycle where lust becomes a substitute for real emotional healing. Breaking free from this pattern requires deep self-awareness and intentional healing. The first step is to acknowledge that the struggle with lust is not just about self-control, it is about unresolved pain. Until those wounds are addressed, the cycle will continue. Healing begins with confronting past trauma, understanding its impact, and allowing oneself to process the emotions tied to it. Prayer, meditation, therapy, and self-reflection are powerful tools in this process. Seeking guidance from mentors, spiritual leaders, or trusted individuals can provide clarity and support. Rather than suppressing emotions, chosen ones must learn to face them head-on and transform their pain into strength. Ultimately, lust loses its power when healing takes place. When chosen ones begin to address the root of their struggles, they find that their cravings for lust are replaced by a desire for true fulfillment, peace, and purpose. The wounds of the past no longer control them. Instead, they become stepping stones toward a higher, more enlightened path. Reason 5. The test of discipline and self-control. For chosen ones, the battle against lust is not just about resisting temptation. It is a test of discipline and self-control. Those who are called to a higher purpose must develop the ability to master their own desires, for self-mastery is the foundation of true strength. Many individuals fail in life not because they lack intelligence or opportunity, but because they lack the ability to control their impulses. Lust at its core is a distraction. It drains mental energy, weakens spiritual resolve, and shifts focus away from the greater mission. For chosen ones, whose destinies require unwavering commitment, discipline is non-negotiable. Every moment spent indulging in lustful thoughts or behaviors is a moment taken away from fulfilling their higher purpose. The struggle with lust is not unique to modern times. Throughout history, some of the most powerful leaders, prophets, and warriors have had to overcome this test. Many failed, and their downfall became a lesson for those who came after them. Others succeeded, proving that true greatness is achieved only when one conquers the desires that seek to enslave them. Discipline and self-control are like muscles, they must be trained. The more one gives in to lust, the weaker their ability to resist it becomes. But the more one exercises restraint, the stronger their willpower grows. This is why fasting, prayer, meditation, and self-denial have always been practices of the spiritually strong. These disciplines are not about punishment, they are about training the mind and body to submit to the spirit rather than to fleeting desires. One of the greatest misconceptions about overcoming lust is that it requires sheer willpower alone. In reality, true discipline is built through a combination of mindset shifts, habits, and strategic actions. Removing temptations, setting personal boundaries, and focusing on productive activities all contribute to self-mastery. When an individual fills their time with meaningful pursuits, they leave little room for distractions. Another important aspect of this test is understanding that lust is not just about sexual desire, it is about control over one's thoughts, emotions, and actions. Many people fail because they believe that resisting lust means simply avoiding certain behaviors. However, the battle is won in the mind first. Lustful thoughts, unchecked, will always manifest in behavior. That is why controlling the mind is the key to long-term success. Chosen ones must also recognize that overcoming lust is not about suppression, but about transformation. Suppressing desires without replacing them with higher pursuits will only lead to frustration and eventual failure. Instead, that energy must be redirected towards spiritual growth, creative endeavors, and personal development. Ultimately, passing the test of discipline and self-control leads to true freedom. Those who master their desires are not controlled by them. They move with clarity, confidence, and purpose. They are able to achieve their greatest potential because they are no longer distracted by lower urges. Lust is a challenge, but is not an unbeatable one. Every moment of resistance strengthens the spirit. And when the chosen ones rise above it, they step into the true power they were meant to embody. Lust is a battle that many chosen ones face, but is not a fight you have to lose. This struggle is not a sign of weakness, it is a reflection of your power. The very fact that you are targeted by such intense desires shows that you have a greater purpose, one that dark forces would rather see derailed. Understanding why this struggle exists is the first step to overcoming it. Your heightened spiritual sensitivity makes you more aware of both light and darkness. Attacks from unseen forces seek to pull you away from your mission. Loneliness creates a void that lust tries to fill. Past wounds resurface as unhealthy desires. And ultimately, this battle is a test of discipline, a challenge to prove that you are ready for the next level of your destiny. But you can break free. This battle is won in the mind, in your habits, and in your spiritual awareness. Redirect your energy toward your purpose. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, Heal the wounds that keep you trapped in cycles of temptation. And most importantly, realize that you are not alone. Every great leader, every spiritual warrior, has had to face this challenge. But those who master it step into a level of power and clarity that few ever reach. You were not made to be a prisoner of your desires. You were made to rise above them. The choice is yours. Will you take control, or will you let lust control you?